The U.S. military fired a series of airstrikes over the weekend targeting Iranian-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen. The strikes killed at least 53 people, according to the Houthi-run health ministry. The militia group has promised to retaliate. On Sunday, Secretary of State Marco Rubio explained the rationale for the attack on CBS's Face the Nation with Margaret Brennan.
This strike in Yemen is about their ability, the ability of the Houthis to strike global shipping and attack the U.S. Navy, and their willingness to do it. 174 times against the U.S. Navy, 145 sometimes against global shipping. That's what the strike is about.
President Trump wrote on Truth Social Monday, quote, "Let nobody be fooled. The hundreds of attacks being made by the Houthis all emanate from and are created by Iran." He added, quote, "Every shot fired by the Houthis will be looked upon from this point forward as being a shot fired from the weapons and leadership of Iran, and Iran will be held responsible." CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata joins us now from the Pentagon. So, Charlie, the U.S. took action against the Houthis during the Biden administration to defend the Red Sea, which is critical for global trade. Is this more of the same, or is this an escalation?
Oh, Lindsay, this is absolutely an escalation. I just came from a briefing here at the Pentagon. In fact, it's the first press briefing of this administration where spokesman Sean Parnell made that very comparison. Now, I'm not on the Pentagon's PR payroll, but he blamed the Biden administration for essentially firing on Houthi targets or launch sites after the rebels tried to target U.S. warships or merchant vessels in the Red Sea. It's more complicated than that. President Biden had called in wide-scale operations at least twice, maybe three times. And those operations sometimes included British aircraft taking part. So there was wide-scale attacks under the Biden administration, too. But officials here just told us the first wave of attacks on Saturday struck 30 targets in multiple locations. That was on the first day. They say several key leaders of the Houthi drone program were killed. They hit some command and control centers targeting those systems. The attacks continued yesterday, and we've been told they are ongoing today, and they will continue in what Defense Secretary Hegseth called an unrelenting campaign against Houthi rebels, saying it was long overdue.
Earlier this month, President Trump sent a letter to Iran calling for talks on the future of its nuclear program. Could these strikes also serve as a pressure campaign to get Iran to the negotiating table?
Well, I mean, I don't think there's any coincidence about the timing of these attacks. Again, it could have happened at any time. Iran is certainly squarely in the frame. As you mentioned, Trump posted that Iran bears full responsibility for those Houthi attacks, saying Iran is essentially dictating every move. And any shot from the Houthis will be seen as a shot fired by Iran, and those consequences will be dire. So again, today the Pentagon officials say Iran has been put on notice. They haven't ruled out military action against Iran. So I don't think it's a coincidence that ratcheting up the attacks on the Houthis comes at the very same time that the United States is ratcheting up pressure on the Iranian regime.
Russia is calling on the U.S. to end these strikes against the Houthis. Why is Russia speaking out?
Yeah, you know, this is a good question. Because, first of all, I think we have to remind people that the Houthis had made no secret of their military alliance with Russia. A few months ago, the U.S. commander CENTCOM, that's the region that controls that area, had warned that Russia was making increasing inroads with the Houthis. They were tracking Russian warships that were pulling into harbor in Yemeni ports. The Houthis have said out loud that they will ensure the safe passage of Russian cargo ships through the Red Sea channels. So, yeah, as you're mentioning, over the weekend, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov spoke with Secretary of State Marco Rubio, pressing the United States to cease attacks and find a diplomatic resolution. There was also intelligence last year that suggested that the Russians were actually trying to find ways to arm the Houthis. So, you know, they've got skin in the game. And, of course, they are both associated through their combined relationship with the Iranian regime.
Charlie D'Agata, thank you.